Hello guys. So this is ServiceNow core session. The topic which I will be covering here is business rules. So this is part 2 video. The part 1 video I've already uploaded. If you have not referred yet, then I suggest that please go to my channel and watch part 1 video. In part 1, I have described the different types of business rules. What are the primary types of business rules? And I have described in detailed in very much detail. I have described each and every type of business rule and what are the key differences between those business rules. What are the functionality difference between those business rules? So here in this video in part 2, I will be covering um, the real-time scenarios and what are the practical differences when we start working on business rules, and I will be creating business rules in this video and will try to describe you that in practical scenarios how the business rules can be different with each other so that you will get an idea that in which scenario which type of business rule fits uh, which type of business rule which you should use in practical scenarios. Okay, so let's talk about the topics which we would be covering here. So I would be covering here the before business rule, after business rule, and async business rule. And parallelly, simultaneously, I will also be describing you the difference between the above listed business rules. Okay, so let's talk about before business rule. So before business rule, what is before business rule? As in my previous part one video, I've already described very much in detail about these business rules, but just I'm giving one liner again. So before business rule runs whenever you are submitting or updating any data to the table. So before business rule runs before submitting to the data to the table. After business rule, as the name itself says, so the data is submitted to the table and again your form is reloading. So between that duration, the after business rule executes. So your data is submitted, then immediately after that, your after business rule logic runs. Async business rule, it is same as after business rule. The trigger point is same, but it executes on the different thread. It does not execute on the current thread. So that's why you are reloading after updating the data to the table or to the database. Your reloading of the form does not impact. Okay, it parallelly runs on different thread in the backend. So that is the advantage of async business rule. Now the differences. So the differences for the differences, let's go to the instance, and on the instance, I will show you creating the business rule, these business rules one by one. So to open the business rule, just search business rule here. Okay, so this is my list of business rules, and let's create a new one. Okay, in part one video, I've already described each and every field. What is the meaning of each and every field on this form? So I suggest that you can go to that video and have a reference from there. In this video, I won't be giving the detailed view of this form. So I'm directly creating one business rule here. So I'm just giving one name test BR um, before. Okay. I'm selecting for now, I'm just selecting the most approachable table, which is incident. Okay. I'm referring incident table because most of the people are aware about the incident. It is easy to understand and refer this table. So incident table I have selected. Now I click on advanced and for now I'm creating a before business rule. Okay, so I selected in the when I selected before, and let's create a let's create update. Okay, I'm creating this business rule for update, not insert. Let's go to advanced. Okay, so here what I will do is, for now, keeping it simple, I want to what I'm looking here is I want to update the, suppose, short description. I want to update the short description of incident to some predefined value. Okay, so suppose short underscore description equals to um, this is coming from before PR, before business rule. Okay, so let's keep this. So I want to update a short description of my current incident record. So that's why I'm using current dot short description equals to this. What is this current object? What is this previous object? Okay, what is the use of this? All these things I have already described in part one video. So I recommend that you just go to part one and have these details from there. Okay. So current dot short description, this is coming from this particular this particular string I want to update on the short description whenever my incident is updating. So for now I'm keeping it very simple. I'm not putting any extra conditions, or I'm not talking here about any real-time use case, but this is the one of the scenario to understand. So let's save this record. So now, after saving, one business rule is created with this uh, with this configuration. So now let's go to incident records. So I quickly open incident list here. Let's open any one incident record. Okay. So now here you can see that this is the one incident I have opened. Now my business rule runs on update, right? So whatever if any update I make on incident, whatever update if I make on incident, uh, as soon as I update the incident, according to my business rule, this short description will get update. So right now, you can observe here that right now the value here is testing in progress. Okay, so let me update a category. So right now it is software. Let me put database, and I will save this update. So now you can see that the short description is automatically updated to this is coming from before BR. Okay. So now you see that what I told you, that before BR executes as soon as you update the record. So it executes before saving to the database, to the table. Okay. So I'm making update on this record. Okay, so parallelly, simultaneously, it will update the short description and it stores in the table. That's why when I reload this form, it is updated in the table. Okay, now let's go to the business rule list again. So that is before business rule. So what is the use of this business rule is? So if you want to update anything on your current record, on your current table. Okay, suppose I'm whenever I update a category here, I want to put some group here, okay, or maybe some field which is not on the form, any field which is not on the form. If I want to update any field which is on the list on the backend side, only on the table, but not on the form. Okay, so that update should be made before saving the record to the table, right? So in that scenario, it is important to use before business rule because the update the update would be made just before it is saves to, if it saves the data to the table in the backend. Okay. So now whenever I'm updating the category here, it will update my short description, and it will suppose if I put the test here, again it is resetting to this is coming from before yeah, and it saves the same update to the table. Okay, so that is before business rule. Let me create an after business rule now. Test after BR. Okay, and let's create on the same table, incident table. This time I'm selecting after, and let's run this for, let's run this on the update only. Now here I will put current dot equals to, this is after BR. Okay, so before let's open the business rule list again. So this one I have created earlier for before business rule. Okay, so for now I'm just inactivating this. Let's inactivate this. So I'm deactivating this. So I want my after business rule to run only. I want to show you what's the difference. So let's inactivate this one. Okay, so it's inactivated. Let's okay. So now let's create. We were creating. Okay, so before BR is deactivated, and let's create after again. I think I lost that window. So test BR after. I will put the details again here. Incident table, advanced. I will select after on this and update. Okay. So let's go to advanced. Here I will put again current dot short description. This is coming from after PR. Okay. So let's save this PR. So now the business rule is, after business rule is created, and here we are updating the short description with this string. Okay. So let's go to the incident. Uh, I will put test for now here. Okay. I am updating suppose category. So now you are seeing that I am making updates on the incident record. Okay. But uh, it's not updating the short description value. See, whatever, if I'm making any update, it's not updating any value in the short description. The description remains same. But in after business rule, I am putting the short description as this one. Okay, and it is running on update. and there is no condition. That means it should update the short description, but it is not updating. So why it is not updating? In the before BR, we were doing the same and it was updating. So that's the difference. So basically, that's what I said, that you should be knowing that when is your business rule is triggering. So um, before business rule was triggering before saving the data to the table. Okay. And after business rule triggers, the data is already saved. Whatever update you are making to the table, that is already saved. And after saving the data to the table, after that, after business rule triggers. Okay. So you, whatever update you are making on this record, it is saves to the table, and then your business rule triggers. That means that if you are updating any field in after business rule, it will not reflect to the table. So that's why when the form reloads, it will take the existing or the previous value only. The value is not updated in the table. That's why it is not retrieving that value from the table. Whatever the value saved in the table, that the value only it will retrieve. Okay, so that means in after business rule, this value is not reflected in the table because this triggers after the table. So what is the other way to this? So if suppose if I write current dot update, if I write this step, that means now I am forcefully updating this value in the table. So this is the way you can forcefully update. So this way is uh, so I am repeating again that this way is not recommended by ServiceNow. Okay, this is one of the violation of best practice of doing coding in ServiceNow. So you in this kind of scenarios, always the preferable approach is before business rule, because that business rule is made for these kind of scenarios only. Okay, but to demonstrate here, I'm just showing you the difference. Uh, that suppose if I do current dot update, that means now I am telling the system that I am want to make this update into the table. So even if it runs or executes after the table, it I am forcefully telling the system that the system should update this value to the table. So let me save this now. So now after business rule would be able to update this field in the table, and now you will see the difference. So let's change the category and let's save the record. And now you can see the short description is reflected with the new value, because the system is now updated the new value to the table, and it is retrieving the recent value from the table. Okay, so this is the difference between before and after. Now, now the question should be now the question may be running in your mind is, um, in which scenario then we should use after business rule, because if for these kind of scenarios to update any value or field on the current table, on the current record, in this kind of scenarios we should always use before business rule, not after business rule. Then in which scenario after business rule would be used? So after business rule would be used if you want to um, if if you want to execute any logic which is dependent on the insert or update of your current record. Okay, in that case after business rule would be used. Suppose if I, as soon as I update any incident, I want to trigger a notification. As soon as I insert any incident, I want to trigger a notification. Okay, in that scenario you will use after business rule. You can trigger the event from here, and through event you can trigger your notification. So these kind of scenarios would be used as part of after business rule. What is the other scenario? Other scenario is On updating or inserting of current record, if you want to update any related table, suppose on updating my incident, if I want to put any comment on incident, it should also put update on problem record, related problem record, or maybe the child incidents. In these kind of scenarios, I will prefer to use after business rule. Okay, so two scenarios I told you. One, either you want to execute any logic or suppose triggering notification or something. If you want to execute any logic immediately after updating or inserting your current record, then you will use after business rule. The second scenario is if you want to update any related records. Okay, in this scenario you are not updating on the immediate current record, but you are updating on the related records. In that scenario you can use after business rule. Okay, so this is actually this is after business rule and before business rule we have talked about. Now let's talk about async business rule. Okay, what is async business rule? So as i as I told you that async and after both the trigger point of both business rule are same. Only the difference is async business rule runs on different thread, not the current thread. So that means that when you're after updating the table, when your form reloads, okay. So in case in after business rule, the reloading of form impacts. So whatever logic you have written in after business rule here in this script, that logic should complete first, then your form reloads. But in async business rule, it runs on different thread. That means your reloading of form does not impacted by your logic written in the async business rule. Okay, so I will give you that difference. I will give you that feel through this script and how it makes the difference. So now this is our after business rule. I am just putting one info message here. Okay, this is one of the okay, for you I will just describe the people who don't know what is GS and what is that info message. For them I will just tell you that GS is one of the glide system, that is one of the Java class we are using in ServiceNow. Okay, and add info message is one of the function. With this function adds an informational messages on the form. So suppose I want to put any message this message is from after BR. Okay, let me save. So this is our after business rule. Let me open, um, let me create a new business rule, which is async business rule. Test BR async. Okay, I will put again the same table incident advanced. Here I will select, this time I will select async and the same update. Let's go here. The same message I will put here as well with different wordings. So sorry, gs.add info message. So here suppose I will put this message is from async BR. Okay. In after business rule, I have put this message is from after BR, and here I have put this message is from async BR. Let's save this. Now I will show you the difference. So both of my BR, sync BR and after BR, both runs on update or incident. Okay, and there is no condition in both BRs. That means whatever I update make here, both business rule should be triggered. Okay, and here I will put one log message as well. Suppose I will put gs.info async br execute. Okay, so that I will show you that whether it executed or not. So now let's go to the incident. So now what, according to the business rule, what we are expecting is um, on the incident it should display a message, this one, okay, from after BR, and it should also display a message from async BR. Okay, so let's go to the incident record and I will make any update to trigger my business rules. So suppose I change the category and I save the record. Okay, as soon as I save the record, you see that. So what happens now is my update go to the system. System updates my table, and from table it again the updated data comes to my form and my form reloads. So when my updated data coming to my form again, then my during that time my after business rule and async business rule both triggered at the same time. But you see that there is only one message I can see, which is this message is from after BR. Okay, so this is coming from after business rule, but there is no message displaying uh, from async business rule. Okay, this message is not there on the form. Basically, so why it happened? Because as I said that async business rule is running on different thread. It's not running on current thread, and the message is displaying only on current thread. That means it will not display your async business rule message on the form because your form already reloaded, and after reloading of the form, that might be that business rule completes the execution as it is on different thread, so you can't put messages on the current thread because that is already running on different thread. That is the reason. But let's check whether the async business rule executed or not. So to check that, we should go system logs. Okay, so mm, from here you can open the system logs, and in my async business rule I have put one more in logging log message, which is async br executed. Let's check that one. In the logs here you can see that this message is coming async br executed. That means async business rule has been executed. That is confirmed, but it has not printed that message on the form because async br runs on different thread and it can't print the messages on the current thread. Okay, so I hope that these three business rules are clear to you now, and what are the differences, what are the real-time execution differences between these three business rules. That should be clear to you now. Okay, and in this slide, this is same scenarios which I described just now, that before business rule, whenever any update to make on current record, that is your in this scenario you should use business before business rule. uh, in which scenario after business rule should be used? So whenever any logic to execute immediately on updating or inserting data to current table. Okay, or maybe updating any record on the related tables. So and when you should use async business rule because it runs on different thread. So whenever you are making any bulk updates, so if suppose you want to update your child incidents and there are 20 child incidents, or maybe if you are working on CMDB record, So if you are updating one CMDB record and there are multiple n number of child tables under your one CMDB table, or a hardware table, suppose there are n number of child tables under hardware tables. If you want to update all the child tables as well, so that means if so whenever your logic is very big or you have a lot of bulk updates, in that scenario you should go with async business rule, because it will not hamper your reloading of a screen. It will not hamper your performance of the instance or performance of the screen. Okay, so I hope that you are now clear with these three business rules. If you have any queries or any concerns, just comment on my video. I will be closely looking into the comments and will try to answer your questions. There are two more types of business rule are left, which is display business rule and query business rule. So I will be covering these business rules in my next video. So I suggest that please go through my videos, the previous one, the current one, and please be in touch with me or my videos, so that you will explore more topics, more upcoming topics in the upcoming videos. So that's all. Thank you guys for listening me, and just like, share, and subscribe my videos and my channel, so that will encourage me to bring more videos to you. Thank you. Thank you.